All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Room for Diversity Opportunities in the Automotive Industry. My name's Alan McGee from the Automotive Business School of Canada, and I'll be your host and moderator for this morning. The objective of this morning's presentation is to increase your awareness of the many exciting career opportunities that exist in the automotive industry for young people and the educational pathways that will help you get there. Today's event is being held in partnership with Hyundai Canada Corporation, which has been recently recognized as one of Canada's top 20 best places to work for 2022, and it was the only automotive company to make that list. We want to thank all of you who have signed on this morning for attending. We hope that you'll find this information useful. So let's take a look at our agenda for this morning. As you can see, we've got a few things to talk about in our brief time together. We're going to try to keep it as close to an hour and a little bit as possible. We're going to start off by hearing from Don Romano, who is the President and CEO of Hyundai Canada. And after his presentation, I'll introduce our panelists who are here to tell you a little bit about their careers in the auto industry. I'll do a brief presentation on career opportunities and educational pathways, and then we're going to go to questions and answers. So if you have any questions you'd like to ask of myself, our panelists, please put them in the chat and we will get to them later in the presentation. So without further ado, it's my distinct pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker, and you can stop sharing the slides there, Josiah, thank you. Don Romano has been President and CEO of Hyundai Canada Corporation since January of 2014. In his 37-year career in the automotive industry, Don has also worked in leadership positions for Mazda North American operations, as well as Nissan Motor Company in the United States. Don has a bachelor's degree in business from California State University and an MBA from Pepperdine University. Don was also recently recognized by Automotive News as a North American champion of diversity in the workplace. So, Don, welcome to this morning's event, and over to you.
Alan, thank you. And hello, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. Really, it's a privilege to be able to talk to you. And I don't think it takes a MBA or a doctorate to figure out that the world is changing rapidly. We're all dealing with new challenges that we've never faced before in so many areas. I mean, whether it's inflation or the price of gas, if it's supply chain issues, or just general disruption, which is really what I want to talk to you about. No place will you see greater disruption than the automobile industry. And you know what? That's a great thing, because disruption means we're adjusting to the new normal. And this industry, well, we haven't been so good at doing that in the past. We've been pretty lethargic when it comes down to embracing new ideas and coming out with new opportunities to change the world, make it a better place. And I think one of the greatest changes that's taking place right now is the growth of the electric vehicle market. And it's still a challenge because we still have supply issues, and we're trying to figure out how to improve battery technology and what other things can we do. But it does represent a major shift and hopefully a major opportunity for a lot of you to take a look at our industry. Maybe you haven't looked at it before. But when you consider all the different industries out there, if I were you, I'd want to go somewhere where there's going to be change and growth and opportunities for young minds to come in and make a difference. I mean, you can do a job or you can have a career that makes a difference. And I don't know about you, but that's what I'd want. I'd want to be able to get involved in an area where, my thoughts, who I am, I can be who I am, and my thoughts are embraced, and I can actually make a positive contribution, not just a paycheck, but a positive contribution to the welfare of this planet. Well, when you consider the tens of millions of cars that are produced every year, most of which are still combustion engines that are polluting the skies and creating all kinds of issues with recycling. And then you look at the future and you see these electric vehicles, you're in a position where we can actually make a difference. Hyundai happens to be the second largest EV retailer in Canada. We're second behind that company that starts with a T. And, you know, they've been an inspiration to us, but they're also a competitor. And we want to do better than them, and we're hopefully gaining on them. But so are my other competitors. Everybody's jumping into this. So it's not just a Hyundai issue. Opportunities abound virtually everywhere in this industry. Now, when you think about this transition, the most important thing we have to consider are the customers. And what are the customers thinking about right now when it comes down to transportation? Now, here's the catch. Those customers don't look like me. They're not some old white guy. The customers look like I bet all of you look, and that is coming from different walks of life, different cultures, different religions. The color of your skin, the way you look at the world is more in alignment with the people that are walking into the showrooms across the country. So any smart CEO, like hopefully I am, I don't know if I'm there yet, but I do know one thing, and that is we have to evolve. And we have to begin to hire people that can better identify with our customers that are coming in, or we're not going to have customers in the future. Brands are changing rapidly. I want you to think about the old days, which many of you may not even remember, but we used to go rent videos from Blockbuster. That's what we did on Friday, Saturdays. We'd go to the Blockbuster. We'd find that the videos weren't even there. And so then, you know, we'd end up getting something we didn't even want. And then comes along Netflix. Well, interesting enough, Netflix actually went to Blockbuster and said, hey, why don't we partner? And this was at the early stage, and Blockbuster said, we don't need Netflix. Well, today Blockbuster is bankrupt. They don't exist, and Netflix is probably the dominant medium for us to watch entertainment at home. This same thing plays through with all kinds of disruption, whether it's Uber disrupting the taxi industry, whether it's Amazon disrupting the big box, the Sears and the J.C. Penney's. This list goes on, but there are companies out there like Starbucks who realize that people want to order online and then just go pick it up so they don't have to wait in those long lines. And they evolved, with people like you. And we need to evolve with people like you. So what you see up here are the opportunities in our industry, and they are numerous. So whether it's finance, marketing, legal, information technology, training, human resources, the list goes on and on. There's corporate jobs, and then there's also jobs at our retailers. Now, a lot of people never thought about working at a dealership before. But the way things are evolving so rapidly right now, I think those jobs are phenomenal, because it's no longer about grabbing somebody that walks into a showroom and trying to put them in a car. Most of these people have established the relationships online. They've been working together with the dealers. They've ordered the car online, or they've scouted it out. They've competitively compared everything that's out there, and they've formulated their opinion based on text, based on social media, based on emails. And that's a lot different than the way it's been in the past. So that means that the people that are actually in the dealerships have to be more astute at writing, at typing, at communicating, and establishing a relationship online. Well, if you come from my generation, I guarantee you're not that good. But if we come from your generation, there is no better. And so it's really up to us now to begin to attract the right people so that we can continue to evolve. Do you know that 97% of the people that buy vehicles the old way hate it? That's not a good thing. You know, if you don't like the way cars are being sold, that opens us up to disruption, which I said is really positive. And I think that's the opportunity for growth and the opportunity for you to have the difference between a job and a career where you can make a difference. So if you were to go on the retail side, and incredible opportunities. But again, you could work at the corporate side where most of our people are working from home. They're working on computers. They're interfaced sometimes with dealers, sometimes interface with customers, sometimes we interface with countries abroad. So I've worked in 5 different countries. I've worked in Asia, North America, US, Canada. I've worked in Europe. I worked in the Middle East. I worked in Saudi Arabia. I worked in the United Arab Emirates. And what's interesting, what I've seen is that this transition that's taking place in our industry, this disruption, it's not a Canadian thing. It's a global thing. So for those of you that have global ambitions where you want to do this, you'd like to take a career that takes you around the world, realize that the things that you learn and do within our industry right here in Canada, they are applicable everywhere. We're all going through the same disruption. Again, not just with the transition from combustion engines to electrification, but also the way in which we engage customers. Now let's go back to that Netflix blockbuster example. Here you have 2 companies with identical products. I mean, it's the same thing. It's called a movie. You know, it's Star Wars here, it's Star Wars there. It doesn't matter. The difference is the way in which the product is distributed to the customer, the way in which the customer engages with the company. Those are the main differences. And that's where disruption is taking place all over the world in every industry. It has, you know, whether it's a taxi or an Uber, you're still getting a ride from point A to point B. But the difference is, one, you can go on your phone, you can book it, automatically pay, and you don't have to sit in some dirty back seat of some really smelly taxi, right? So, you know, and in fact, you might even meet somebody who's pretty cool and kind of fun. This is what's happening everywhere, right? Why do I have to get in my car and drive to Sears and hunt for what I want when I can make 5 clicks and probably have it delivered to my doorstep within 24 hours? I mean, that's cool. So that's what's happening in the auto industry. And I believe that it's going to require new thinking, much greater diversity that's more reflective of the Canadian market. You know, I'll be honest, in the past, this industry has been dominated by older white males. That's not who's walking into our dealerships. So by bringing in diversity, we happen to be the leader in this area. It is our focus, it is our passion. We were the first to sign on with Black Lives Matters. We do constant training, and we have, I believe, the best record for diversity of anybody. And it's not just important socially, which we obviously believe in wholeheartedly, that this is an absolute need, that we are inclusive and that we bring everybody in and that they can be who they are within this work environment. But also from a business perspective, by bringing in that diverse talent and those new ideas, we'll be able to evolve faster than our competition. We'll provide a better engagement process with our customers. And in doing that, that's how we're going to lead the industry. I mean, we're still very competitive, all of us. I mean, that's why we come to work every day, to win. But you don't win with a team that doesn't understand the customer dynamics that are being worked on at the retail level. So I hope that encourages you to give us some thought about the auto industry. If you have any questions or thoughts, you can always connect with me on LinkedIn. Love to talk about it. But give it some thought, because I believe this is the industry where, more than any other industry, we could talk banking, we could talk insurance. Oh, yeah, exciting, right? This is the industry. Your days will go by fast, your weeks will just disappear, the years melt away, and you have a blast. People love to talk about cars. People love to talk about transportation. So it's a fun environment, but more importantly, and I said it before and I'll end on it, and that is, you can make a difference in this industry. So I hope you give us some consideration. It's been great talking to you. With that, I'm going to turn it back to Alan.
Thank you so much, Don. We appreciate your insights on the industry. It's now my pleasure to introduce our panelists for this morning's discussion, who are going to talk about their own journey in the auto industry. And so first up is Gabriel Baska. Take it away, Gabriel. Don't forget to unmute.
Thank you, Alan. So hi, everybody. My name is Gabriel Baska. I'm from Montreal, Quebec. I studied in Barrie for 4 years and graduated in August 2019. My background, my post-secondary background is, first of all, I did business management which gave me a collegial diploma back home. After that, I went to University of Montreal for 1 year where I did a certificate in advertising. From there, I decided to move to Barrie to pursue my post-secondary education at the Automotive Business School of Canada, where I did the 2-year diploma program, the automotive business program, which bridged to the automotive management degree program after that. So altogether, I did 4 years and graduated with 2 different the papers. So that was great. My career progression, I'm just going to talk about my automotive one. So before moving to Barrie, I was a delivery specialist at one of the biggest Subaru dealership in Quebec. Back there, I learned a lot about the dealership lifestyle, what are the different positions you can work for in a dealership, how to interact with the customers, how to detail a vehicle, how to present a vehicle, how to talk about one. So that was pretty neat. That was in the summer. So once September arrived, I was in Barrie already to start my first year at Georgian. After the way it works, the first 2 months were classes. The third month was a co-op session. So the first co-op, I did it back at that dealership just to learn a little bit more about the sales process, how to sell a vehicle, and be a little bit more hands-on what a sales manager would do. Went back to school. The semester after that, I did my second co-op as in PR at Volkswagen Canada. That was one of the most exciting experience I got in the automotive industry. Back then, I had to manage a fleet of vehicle, pool cars, press cars that I had to give to journalists so they can review our fleet, our vehicles, and they were all the articles you can read and see pretty much everywhere. That was also my first immersion experience. The first time in my life I had to work all week long in English, so that was challenging, but very. It was a good experience altogether. After that, I've been transferred to a Volkswagen dealership so I could continue to gain experience while I was in school. So I was in Aurelia back then a delivery specialist again. I was working on sales. And later on, I transferred to a service department and detailing. So I was able to go to school and work at the same time. My third co-op, I did it as a chief marketing manager at Nissan Canada, where I was able to work with all the marketing, the sales, and marketing and sales department pretty much. I had the sports car and passenger car portfolio, so my job was to make sure that all the sales content was accurate. They were showing the right sales information for the month happening. And I was also part of the launch of the back then the brand new all-wheel drive Altima. So it's very exciting that a student like me, like us, was able to be part of national vehicle launches as part of our co-op. So it's a great, exciting way to learn the industry and stick to it. And finally, that was one of my most challenging experience and position I had, but I was part of the 34 Georgian College Auto Show, the biggest student outdoor run auto show in Canada. So pretty much that was a great experience. I had to manage 250 students, to manage all the teams, We had meetings to set up with the OEMs, so all our students could be fully trained to talk about the vehicles that will be displayed on the show. Like you pretty much know already, English is not my first language, so that was very challenging. But at the end of the day, I think it was a success, and I would redo it every day of the year. So that was a great experience. And now, since I've graduated school, I'm a dealer operation analyst at Hyundai Canada. I'm taking care of the Eastern Zone with a team of 4 other guys. So that's my main job now. I'm very happy where I am, and I would stay there pretty much as long as I can. And finally, just to wrap up, why I choose the automotive industry. First of all, I'm always been a car guy. I'm very enthusiastic about the automotive industry. I knew coming out of high school that at some point in my life I would be working in the auto industry, but I didn't know how to enter it. So this is where I've been transferred to, not transferred, but I decided to go to the ABSC. And honestly, for all of you that are not sure if they want to work in the auto industry, as Mr. Romano was saying earlier, it's a really dynamic industry. We are at a turning point right now where the entire industry, everything we knew for the last 100 years is about to change, and it's changing faster than we could even anticipate it. So it's a great time to jump into this industry because, like I said, it's really dynamic. You'll learn something new every day, and it's gonna change very fast for the next at least 15 years. So, well, that's pretty much it for me. I'll give it back to Alan.
Thank you so much, Gabriel. I appreciate it. All right, next up is Hilary Downs from Hyundai Canada. Hilary, are you there?
Oh my gosh, my computer is
good. Go ahead, Hilary.
Good morning. Sorry about that. My computer froze there for a minute. Thank you so much for having me. My name is Hilary Downs. As Alan introduced me, I'm a District Customer Experience Manager at Hyundai Canada. I graduated from the Automotive Business School of Canada 10 years ago. Attending ABSC was absolutely the best decision I ever made. Growing up, my grandpa shared his passion of cars and exposed me to buying and selling at a very young age. I was 16 when my family and I first attended the outdoor student-run auto show for the first time. I highly suggest anyone who's on this call who hasn't had the opportunity to join, take it, go for it. Make sure you attend the next student-run show. The whole school was absolutely humming with activity, and let me tell you, the sound of the 911s running through the parking lot was absolutely magical. Between talking to students and being exposed to support of the industry, I could hardly wait to get out of high school and start at Georgian. The first day of school came, and right away the opportunities were endless. I will never forget I was assigned to Team Mazda right away, and we were thrown into planning for the Fall Auto Show. When I attended many years ago, it was the first event that happened, and now we experience it later in June. Great outside weather, better than when I was there and you were in the middle of rain and possibly snow. That first day I was surrounded by complete strangers. The team members I was assigned with have turned into absolutely lifelong friends and have gone on to have awesome careers in automotive, and let me tell you, they've been my biggest supporters to get to where I am today. Those connections that I had have carried me through, and the networking opportunities that I was provided were absolutely endless. If you believe ABSC is a fit for your future, the best advice I can give you is to say yes to every opportunity you are presented with. Still to this day, I often reference material that was taught in the classes when I'm working. I attended there for 3 years, and the biggest benefit was taught by professors with industry experience, and they truly had a passion for what they were teaching. They were invested in the students and provided a real industry exposure, and to this day, I still reach out to some of them for advice when I have those challenges. Throughout my 3 years, I had the opportunity to have 3 co-op placements, the co-op placements were invaluable, as when I graduated, I was able to apply to positions already having experience in the industry. I had the opportunity to work in dealerships and be mentored by, amazing individuals. And I also took the opportunity to work at national auto shows across Canada. After graduating with Georgian, I achieved my diploma in automotive marketing and management, and I went on to pursue my degree at Northwood University in Midland, Michigan. After having completed that year, I ended up returning to Canada, and I was offered a full-time role. At the dealership I actually did my last co-op at, so that was White Oak Ford Lincoln in Mississauga. Being in a dealership, it was extremely exciting. Fast-paced environment. So, as Don mentioned earlier, the opportunities are endless, anywhere from selling vehicles or doing marketing or, being involved in changing the process as to how customers are purchasing vehicles. My favorite day that I can recall was delivering a Boss 302 to my customer who had been dreaming of it since he was a young age. I was always fascinated by technology and features that went into every vehicle and the work and effort that those teams did. So it was my dream to pursue working for a manufacturer. I then went on to leave White Oak Ford Lincoln, and I started working at Nissan Canada as a corporate vehicle coordinator. At Nissan, they truly taught me, and I learned from the heart of the business that it lies in the distribution department, and I was presented with an opportunity to work with Subaru Canada in the distribution department, working closely with the Port of Vancouver, rail, and trucking companies to get all of the exciting product to the dealers and in the hands of the consumer. After many years working with Subaru, I then experienced and gained a lot of knowledge, and I was presented with the opportunity to move to Hyundai Canada, where I work today. I've been working at Hyundai for the past 4 years. Every day I get to work directly with many of our Hyundai dealers across Ontario. I assist them in making the best decisions for the customer experience to be the best possibly it could be in the industry. And it's very exciting. Everything is very much changing right now, and every day is different. And I'm really sorry, Don, but I have to tell you that was only the second best decision I made. The first best was obviously attending ABSC. So that's all for me.
Thank you, Hilary.
Thank you.
Expecting such a great pitch for the school, but thank you anyway. All right, Keaton Williams, you're up.
All right. So my name is Keaton Williams. I am from the Six Nations Reserve, South Ontario, Native American, Tuscarora Nation, Turtle Clan. Now I went to Georgian College in 2013 to 2017. So I took the Bachelor of Business Automotive Management program. At first I did the diploma, so that was 2 years. Loved it so much I went back another 2 years. So that kind of speaks to the testament of the school. And then, so in 2013, actually, I did my first co-op with a dealership, inside a dealership, doing sales. So I was like 19 years old, fresh out of high school, fresh into college, doing sales. It was pretty cool, actually. I love being in a dealership. So that's why I worked for the last 6 years. So from 2014 to 2020, I was in a dealership. I'm now out of industry. I am doing accounting for a family practice since I haven't been back in the dealership. So actually, it's quite a change from sales to go from talking to people every day to sitting in an office talking to numbers, I guess. So I'm enjoying it though. Everything I learned from ABSC in terms of the accounting course, corporate finance course, still applies for me today. So you can, whatever you learn in the classroom is still applicable for me today, even though I'm not in the auto industry. And actually, I learned from early on that I wanted to be in an office and not in the trades. Not that that's that's a bad thing. It's a great thing. I'm actually working with my dad too in a family business. He owns a heating and cooling business, so I actually do the accounting for him too. So it's been good. And for ABSC, like, I first learned about them when I went to the Toronto Auto Show and they had a booth set up. So that was the first time I ran into ABSC, and that was back in 2010. And I decided to apply to the diploma program, got accepted, decided what the heck, that's 3 hours from me, I'll make the move. So that's how I went, by train and bus up to Barrie, because it's horrible to get to Barrie. But anyways, really enjoyed my time there. The professors are great. Mohammed was great when he taught me parts and service. That was a great course. What else? So I basically decided to go into the auto industry because I love cars and I love business, and I kind of put the two together. And I can say one thing is everybody in the classroom loves vehicles. So if you do, probably the industry to go into. But if you're just looking to learn business and accounting, marketing, different things like that, it's still a great classroom to go to, and or school, sorry, because I'm still using those same skills I learned way back then. Now, I have to say it's been good. I would like to go back to industry to get maybe back in a dealership. Probably not corporate, it's pretty far from me, but I do enjoy the dealership and I do enjoy sales. But yeah, so ABSC is a great school, and I would recommend anybody to go.
Thank you so much, Keaton. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
Next up, we have David Sharma, but I'm not sure if he's been able to connect yet. David, are you online? No? Okay. So Mohammed Abbas, you're up next.
Sorry, I thought it was Katrina next. My bad. Everyone, good. It is morning, I guess. Good morning, everyone. My name is Mohammed Abbas, as Alan mentioned. So I started at ABSC. I guess it was the CAI at that time, but Canadian Automotive Institute. I started back in 2005, I think. God, I feel so old. So 2005, I started. I was I think the fourth year of the new degree program. So I enrolled in 2005. I graduated in 2009, and that same year, at the end of the year, I started a master's degree in education as well, and that took me about a year. But kind of where I am now in terms of my time at Georgian, I did my 3 co-ops, all at corporate, and I realized that I didn't like corporate. No offense to anyone that's at corporate right now, but it just wasn't my preference, I guess, if that makes any sense. I enjoy being out, interacting, I guess, being in the field, working with various individuals, which again, you can do in corporate as well, but I just couldn't be at a desk, I guess, contrary to my good friend Keaton there. During my time at Georgian and then after Georgian, so I did my co-ops at Volvo, Mercedes, and Volkswagen, the same position that Gabe did at his placement, I guess, at Volkswagen. So, I mean, the beautiful thing is I taught Katrina, Gabe, obviously Keaton as well. So it's great to see my students successful. That makes me happy. They worked hard when they were at the college, and that hard work definitely has paid off for them. So that makes me super, super happy. After I graduated at Georgian and got my master's degree, in between there as well, I was working part-time, doing auto shows, doing weekend product specialist shows for, I've worked with Honda, Acura, General Motors, Volvo, Volkswagen, Mercedes, Mazda, Toyota. Oh dear, I haven't worked with a Hyundai yet, but yeah. So I mean, I also did facilitation. So I trained dealers, both in the dealership as well as cross-country tours that we used to go on, where we would launch new vehicles across Canada. So typically, I would go from Ontario to the west, and there'd be a different team that went from Ontario east, depending on bilingual. And yeah, so I mean, the beautiful thing is I'm actually back at Georgian, so I kind of did a full circle. So I started at Georgian, and now I'm back at Georgian teaching, I guess, the new generation of students that are up and coming. For me, I loved cars since I was a kid. I did do 2 years of engineering at Waterloo when I first started, and I didn't like it at all because I guess my passion was in the automotive industry. And after those 2 years, I started my undergrad at Georgian and pretty much never looked back. My mom, of course, thought I was going to be a mechanic because she heard automotive, and I had to help her understand that that wasn't what my position was. Not to say to be a mechanic is bad, because mechanics right now are making an absolute killing in the pandemic, especially with flat time hours and all that kind of stuff. So there's definitely a lot of opportunities. There's a lot of wealth, I guess, at your disposal as well. So that's all I want to say. I think it's the best school to come to, and I think a lot of the students here that have been to the ABSC can make a testament to the fact that it's a community, and all of my students still have my cell phone number. If they want to text me, call me, they can do that. You know, it's about building a community and just hoping that everyone succeeds. And we, as Alan will also make a testament to the fact that we want you guys to be the best versions of yourself. And we want you guys to be successful, and you know, we want you guys to come back after you've graduated and tell the current students your experience. So I invite you guys all to the Automotive Business School of Canada. It's a place to be. I don't know what else to say. We're the only one in the country, so be exclusive. So,
thank you, Mo. I appreciate it. All right, Katrina, you're up next. Just need to unmute.
Maybe.
You're good. You're good.
Okay, there we go. Hi, everybody. My name is Katrina Rivers. I started at ABSC in 2016, but I actually graduated from St. Peter's Secondary School in Barrie in 2013. So I did some jumping around before that, and then I ended up taking a little bit of a break from education and went back, as I said, in 2016 to ABSC for the diploma program. Through the diploma program, I got to meet some really great people like Mohammed, like Alan, and you know, that experience was something that was great. So I decided to move into the degree program after graduating from there. I worked in the auto show that ABSC holds in 2019. I was on Team FCA as a co-captain, where I got to work with Gabe. So you kind of meet a whole bunch of people when you're there, and that's one great part of it. And then, you know, I went to Nova Scotia. I was a part of a panel there for the NADA conference. That was another experience that ABSC had given me. I also, you know, I think part of education is you make a little bit of errors along the way. And Alan, I'm sure that you know exactly what I'm talking about. My education experience was a little bit prolonged, but that's okay. That's part of education, and it's part of growing up. Is making those mistakes along the way. So I ended up graduating from my degree in 2022. And I had, you know, I just had so much fun in the program. We had a lot of opportunities to do things. But more than that, I think that it was the support from the faculty. If you are looking to get into the industry, this definitely is the place to start, because you will have so much help and you will meet so many amazing people and make great connections. You know, Don is here today. He was the keynote speaker, but throughout your progression through the program, you're going to meet so many people who have the experience like Don has. And like I said, that is just one of the amazing things that ABSC has to offer. So I definitely recommend it. In terms of career progression, I've kind of been all over, but in my diploma, I had the opportunity to work for ADESA. That was my first co-op that I did with ABSC. And that was fun. I kind of bounced around the auction there. I got to learn a bit about sales. I got to learn about how to work on the block. I got to learn about the transportation side of things, marketing as well. So that was a lot of fun. And then when I went into the degree program, I had the opportunity to work for Toyota Canada as a data analyst. That was an experience. It was a good one, but it was an experience. And through that, you know, it was mainly analyzing marketing campaigns, what worked, what didn't, and providing that feedback to them. My final co-op experience that I had with ABSC was at 400 Chrysler, who you will see a lot of their staff, and especially Christy Fines. She works a lot with ABSC, and she is a really great mentor that I've gotten to keep in contact with, and she's helped out a lot for sure. I worked as an internal service advisor there, and that is what kind of pushed me into my career today. So today I'm working for Suzuki. I'm working with production and logistics. So essentially I'm making sure that we get product, whether that be from the United States or Japan, also Thailand and a few other places that we get our products from, ensuring that we get it here, and then it also goes out to our dealers properly. And you know, it's also taking into account costs of freight, which is a huge part of what is affecting the automotive industry right now, is the movement of goods. And like Don had mentioned, it's an evolving sector. And yeah, it's exciting. There's always something new. So I can't recommend it enough. And really the reason why I got into this was my dad is a 310T mechanic. So he works on heavy duty trucks, and buses, anything like that. I did not have the passion to go and be a mechanic and try and work on vehicles. But I did love cars, and I knew I wanted to work with them in some capacity. So ABSC, you know, just a few Google searches, sorry. Yeah, that's how I came across ABSC, and now here I am. And that's about it for me.
All right, thank you very much, Katrina. I appreciate that. We have one more presenter, but we're having some technical issues with him. So when he does get signed on, we'll come back to him. But for now, Josiah, if you could put up the slides, and I'll do a very quick presentation of career opportunities in the auto industry. So maybe just give me a thumbs up. We're up. Okay. So what you're looking at here is a schematic of what we refer to as a supply chain in the automotive industry. My experience with talking to students, particularly high school students, is that when they think of the car business, they really just think about the companies that make the cars and perhaps the companies that sell the cars, which, as we know, are the dealers. And granted, those two types of companies make up a big part of the industry, but there's a lot more to it when you think about it and when you look at it in terms of where the career opportunities are in this industry. Because when you look at this diagram, the original equipment manufacturer, those are the companies that assemble the vehicles. So that's your Ford of Canada, that's your Hyundai Canada, and all the other different brands that you're familiar with. The original equipment manufacturer assembles the vehicles, but they need to buy they don't make everything. They need to buy their parts, pieces, and components from somewhere. And so they buy those from their suppliers. And so there's career opportunities in all of those companies that supply parts, pieces, and components to the companies that make the vehicles. And in the process of making those vehicles, the original equipment manufacturers, the OEMs as we call them, they need a tremendous amount of support from other types of companies. And those are the services that you see off to the left here that the financial services, marketing, advertising agencies, website companies, IT companies, particularly in computer security right now. The Automotive Business School of Canada is part of the education training sector that supports this industry. Leasing companies, remarketing such as auctions, the insurance business in terms of vehicle insurance and all the other products that are sold, some in the business offices of dealerships, and then there's a whole consulting industry after that. And so there's a tremendous number of opportunities to be in the industry as in a supporting role in those types of companies. And you can see that in this diagram, the OEMs, they sell their new vehicles to new vehicle dealers. There's 3,400 approximately new vehicle dealers in Canada, and they all have different departments, as I'll show you in a second, that represent places for young people to start their careers and provide a pathway for them to progress. But there's also used vehicle dealers out there, and they make up a significant part of our industry as well. And so they are dealers that buy and sell vehicles that are no longer new, and they represent opportunities as well. And then you can also see some of the biggest customers in Canada are actually fleets. The armed forces, for instance, the biggest fleet in Canada is the Canadian Armed Forces, and they have approximately 45,000 vehicles in their fleet. Daily rental companies, leasing companies, those are all customers of the OEMs that have large fleets and manage those fleets. So there's opportunities there as well. And then there's the aftermarket, which is all those companies that participate in the industry after the vehicle is sold. And so those are repair places, those are muffler shops, those are you name anything, like parts and accessories, parts wholesalers, and that kind of thing. So tremendous number of different kinds of companies, tire dealers, pardon me, I was struggling there to remember. I should look at my notes, right? So the point is there are tremendous numbers of companies and different places that you can work. If you can advance the slide, Josiah, to the next one that shows the schematic in an automotive dealership. There you go. So this is what a typical automotive dealership looks like. You have the person who owns it, the dealer principal, and someone who general manages it. And then you have the different departments. There's a sales department, there's a parts, there's a service department, and then there's the administration side that looks after the finances. And so many young people start working in the parts and service area, perhaps, maybe detailing vehicles or working in the parts department, but you can also start in the sales department as well. And there's a pathway upwards as you gain experience and education. So like I said, there's a tremendous number of dealerships in Canada that also have opportunity for you. All right, next slide, please. Let's take a look at the educational pathways. I have a number of different ways to enter this industry, some of which don't require much education at all. However, you need to remember how much education you have will really affect how far you go. That's important. You can get a job selling cars or working in a dealership or another automotive related business with your high school education. But having some additional post-secondary training or education will help you progress. You can start off with a certificate in business or a diploma program in business, and many colleges offer these kinds of programs in general business. And so you learn about all kinds of products and services, and you get a good grounding in business principles. There are some specialized programs, and that's certainly where we fit in as the Automotive Business School of Canada. We offer business programs that focus on a particular industry, and in this case, the automotive industry. And so we offer a 2-year diploma in automotive business, and we also offer a 4-year honors bachelor's degree in automotive management. And so you have a choice. You can start, if you decide you want to go to college or university, you can start with a 2-year diploma, and there is a pathway for you to get to a degree if you decide that you want to do that. Many of the corporate opportunities that exist in our industry require a degree to get in. So if you want to work corporate, then you may want to consider going that pathway. However, working in a dealership or other automotive related business, certainly a certificate or a diploma will certainly get you in. There's a pathway from the degree to a master's degree, which many people choose as they try to move up in their careers from a management perspective. So, and then there are also graduate certificates. We offer one, the Canadian Dealer Academy, which helps train dealership employees for management roles. So that's another pathway. One of the important considerations when you're looking at different educational opportunities is whether or not there's a co-op work element to the education. Both of the programs at ABSC are co-op programs, and so you get valuable work experience while you're learning. Not all business programs offer that, so when you're looking at different programs at other colleges, universities, ask the question if co-op is an opportunity for you as part of that program. Okay. But I think that's enough for now. If you're interested in any of the programs that we offer, please do not hesitate to contact me. We have a website. The ABSC website gives you a lot of information about our programs and who to contact. So that's it for the slides. Josiah, please, let's put it back to me and we'll start with our questions and answers. Question we wanted to ask was, what advice would you give to a young person considering a career in the automotive industry? And Hilary, did you want to start with that?
Absolutely. The very best advice I can give you is to always say yes to opportunities, whether it's attending a network event, an evening that you're hearing from a manufacturer or a dealer, or, just an event in general that, you get to go or maybe see some vehicles, but always say yes. Try to network as much as possible, because I can honestly say the automotive industry in Canada is extremely small. Everyone overlaps, and your relationships are what truly get you through your career and keep you motivated and keep you evolving. So that's the best advice that I can give anyone.
How about Mo? Any advice you might give to a young person?
You took my answer, Alan. No, I'm just kidding. I think what Hilary said, I think is super important. And for those, the students who I've had, I think Gabe's gone, Katrina, Keaton, you're here. I used to really push that in the classroom as well, right? So my biggest, rule of thumb even for myself now is out of sight, out of mind, right? So if an employer, if an automotive group, if a corporate, employee doesn't remember you or doesn't know you, then they're never going to have you on the list for consideration, right? So that's one. Second, I always encourage my students to be different, because you're all seeing a classroom of maybe 30 to 40 students approximately. But when you guys do graduate, and hope the majority of students do graduate, how are you going to be different than the person sitting beside you, right? What makes you different? Are you going to be good at writing? Are you going to be good at speaking? Are you going to be good at presentations? Are you going to be good at analytics? Like, what is your specialty? What is going to make you different than your friend that's sitting beside you? So I encourage you guys, just that's the two things that what Hilary mentioned. And the second thing is, how will you be different? And always the one thing is ask. If you don't ask, you never get. Okay, that's my other word of advice. Thanks, Alan.
Did you say me, Alan?
Yes, Keaton, go ahead.
Oh, how am I supposed to follow these guys up? Those are two of the biggest things. Ask and be a sponge, soak it all in, do something different. Like early on, I knew I didn't want to be on the tools with my dad, so I decided to go into business and decide to do something different. Look at different avenues you can go, whether it's, if you do go to ABSC, I'm sure Alan wants all of you to go there, but it's a great experience. But you just have to be different when you're trying to decide what you want to do, and don't be afraid to look outside of the box. And like Muhammad said, ask questions, be curious, and it'll all work out.
Okay. Very good. Thank you. Katrina?
So I think that the biggest thing that I can say to all of you is that I was super shy. I was really, really shy when I started the diploma program. And I know that it's hard when you come out of high school and you're in this big world and you're meeting all these new people and everybody's telling you, you know, just talk, just meet people, just go out and do XYZ. And I know it's hard, but really find somewhere deep in yourself where you can muster up that confidence and go out and talk to people, because it will really make a world of difference if you just talk and you meet these mentors from all over, and you're going to want to ask them questions and just do it. They've been in your shoes, they've been where you are, they've all started somewhere, and they all have valuable information. And you know, if they maybe don't react the way that you were hoping, I know I've been there in that situation, that's okay. That's on them. That's their personality trait, and it's okay. Just keep moving forward and, you know, believe in yourself. I know that sounds pretty generic, but it's true. I know I'm not the first person to make an error. I'm sure many of you have, especially, like I said, in education. And it's okay. You're allowed to redo things. You're allowed to try new things, and you know, you have the ability to evolve. You really need to believe in yourself. And if you go to ABSC, definitely pull some confidence out of yourselves. That would be my best advice. And good luck.
Hey, I think that I think I am out of panelists to answer that one question. I would like to go to the audience to see if they have any questions, and I am getting one now. It's coming through, which I will ask my panelists to answer as soon as I get it. In the meantime, Bill.
Oh, Alan.
Yes, go ahead.
I guess to go off of Katrina's point too, like the whole, you know, about being shy and getting out of your comfort zone. You definitely got to get out of your comfort zone. Like, yeah. The best ground you can make is in your uncomfortable zone. Like, I had to move 3 hours away to go to Barrie, and, you know, not knowing anybody up there, you know, everyone's probably as nervous as you. So yeah, you gotta really get out of your comfort zone and don't be afraid to make mistakes. So make all the mistakes.
I've made a few.
Yeah, same here. I'm sure we all have.
The question was, do you prefer corporate or dealership, working at the corporate level versus the dealership? And so if you want to answer that question, maybe talk a little bit about what the difference is. Hilary, I know you've worked at both levels. What would you say the big difference is between working corporate or working at a dealership?
Oh my gosh. Oh.
Yeah, you're on. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, can you hear me? Sorry about that. Every time I get stuck on mute, I think it's my keyboard. Oh my goodness. I must say they're two very different realms. I can't say that I love one more than the other. They just provide different opportunities. Being in a dealership is fun and exciting, and you're directly in touch with the product every day, and you get the joy of truly delivering that product to the customer and really building on their excitement anytime that you're, you know, selling a new vehicle or a used vehicle or showing them you know, the different features. That part's exciting. So I must say it's two very different realms, but at the end of the day, you're both working towards the same goal. So I think that's probably the best advice that I can give.
Mo, you've worked at different levels, plus you've also began to teach this whole thing. What's your perspective on this?
I mean, I don't know why I have to go after Hilary every time, because she also
I'm sorry.
I'm just joking. It's all good. No, I think, as Hilary mentioned, I think the corporate and dealership levels are two different beasts altogether. But I think a good recommendation is, and I think that's the beauty of the co-ops, Alan, is that you have the ability to hopefully get a position in both and then see what you like, right? There's a lot of students that have also gone aftermarket as well. So we're focusing on corporate and just the dealership level, but there's also the aftermarket within our industry, which is the biggest part of our industry, actually. So I've had friends as well as students who have gone through, to manage Napa stores, for example. And Napa used to have a program where they would take a student and kind of go through all the different levels until they became a manager of a store, right? So I think it's the beauty of the co-ops. You get the opportunity to check what you like, what you don't like, and you take it from there. I think that's the best part of what the program has to offer, whether you're taking the two-year or the 4-year degree.
Very much.
And I also wanted to add, if there's anyone, if there's anyone that's interested in marketing or technology, being in a dealer environment, it allows you to practice all of that in a normal business.
Thank you for that. All right, well, that concludes. I know it's 11 o'clock and we promised to do it in an hour. And so I'd like to thank all of our panelists. I'd like to thank Hyundai Canada for partnering us and Don Romano for taking time out of his busy schedule to speak to you today. And I want to thank our panelists for participating, and thank you to Josiah for handling the technology. We certainly appreciate it. If you want more information about career opportunities and educational pathways to the auto industry, please check out our website, and perhaps my email is alan.mcgee@georgiancollege.ca, but you can find that on the website. So please don't hesitate to contact me. I'd be happy to help you and field your questions. All right. Thank you very much, and have a great day, and good luck in all your future endeavors.